Okay, Rose, thank you for putting this together. I just want to give you some feedback on what I find will make this message even stronger. And then once you've done your edits, I suggest you take it to the market and see whether it sticks. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to mention out. This headline is pretty good because it speaks to your ideal audience, like obviously it's public speakers. Who have a pain, and obviously one of the pains is they hate putting together the slides because it's time consuming. It's maybe they're not technically proficient to do that. So I would definitely put something in here around some of the pain points that they may have. And also with this here, you can actually eliminate this bit here in the headline because speaking already presumes that they're either on stage or at a workshop or even doing a video presentation online. It doesn't necessarily have to be public speaking. It can be any business owner who has who does webinars, who does master classes, and they need slides to showcase their expertise and speak to their audience. So I would get rid of this bit because it tightens your headline, makes it more compelling. Anytime you have a long sentence, it's drawn out, it will always weaken the copy a little bit at a time. So when you, in the future, when you write your content, when you write messaging, after you've written the draft, read it out loud to you. And when you feel that, you know, you could actually cut out a word here and there, and you still give them the same information, it's still clear what you're talking about, you have my permission to cut out those words, okay, or those parts of a sentence. So I would eliminate this bit here. So it would then read, you love speaking but hate putting together your slides. Yeah, it's clear you're speaking to people who are either public speakers or who are using slides in a presentation. Now, obviously this is what they want, so you're speaking to their desire in this section. But you know, I love how you say without having to slave over it for hours yourself. I would actually draw out on that and add a couple more pain points below. So without having to slave over it for hours yourself, or having to work or having to figure out technology, and then maybe go even further and worrying about blah blah blah, whatever they're going to worry about. Okay, so add a couple more pain points that basically paint the picture straight away to your ideal audience of, yes, okay, she's offering me this creation and I can avoid pain point A, pain point B, pain point C, etc., etc. The reason we're speaking to the pain is because if you don't accentuate the pain in your messaging, then you're assuming that your audience is actually automatically making the conclusion that is what you're helping them do. But unfortunately, most people don't think that way. Most people barely think about what's for dinner, right? So we need to be able to help them understand this is what we're helping them avoid, right? So if you put that in your copy, in your message, then you're making it succinct, you make it clear, there is no room for error or perhaps for them to think, what is she actually, why would I want to do that? You're making it really clear that you help them avoid certain pain points, and if the pain is niggling at them because it's urgent for them to have the slide deck, then they will take action. If they're just thinking, oh yeah, it would be nice to have a slide deck for my public speaking, but it is not an urgent pain, then they're not going to buy. So we always have to draw out that urgent pain and point it out and basically describe it, so our copy becomes descriptive in itself, so that people feel the urge to take action if they're ready there and then. I hope that makes sense, yeah? And then rather than say, what's the solution, you could say that, what's the solution? You could also be a bit more conversational around that and say something like, well, your pain or your frustration ends right now. I have the perfect solution for you. And put a little bit of your own story in there. It's like, hi, I'm Rose Davidson. I have a business called Does whatever it's called, Does Business or something. And I support business owners and entrepreneurs in their business with admin work on whatever you're doing. But what I'm really passionate about is to create speakers' presentations, because that's my genius, that's where I shine, that's where I can showcase my expertise as an organized person, as a creative person, as a visual person, like however you want to describe that. So have a little paragraph here that makes it personal, but at the same time speaks to your ideal audience who wants to buy that. Okay. Now, here's what you'll get. That's good. It makes it very clear. Social media posts, yeah. Creation of a sign-up form, free creation of a feedback form. So this to me, like this is clear, but this is not clear. I don't actually know whether you create a sign-up form on a WordPress site, or whether you do like a PDF, or whether it's on a Word doc or on a Google Doc. So make sure you describe in detail what they get without droning on about it. It needs to be clear by somebody who doesn't understand, like me. I don't really know what you give them. So this is not clear to me, and if there's something that makes me pause, I will not buy, because I have unresolved questions. Okay, so the way you can address these is either here in the bullet point, or you can have a FAQ section below here that answers 5 likely questions your audience will have, and then you answer them. So you put the question in bold and you answer below each question. Okay. The other thing that's not clear is package value. Normally when you describe a package value, that means you value it as $650, but it's actually cheaper. So usually when people offer a value for a package or a course or a program, they usually value it as that, because you get all these extra things, but you're not paying for these extra things. So is it costing me $650 for you to do that? Or are you valuing this service at $650, but you're selling it to me for whatever, right? So that needs to be clear. And then you want to have a strong call to action, which tells them what you want them to do next. And if you put that, for example, in the VBAR group, then obviously you would say, if you're interested in chatting about how this may look for you, send me a private message in Facebook, and we can jump on the phone for 10 to 15 minutes and I can walk you through it. The other thing, obviously if it's on a web page, once it's been proven, then you want to have a button that says, okay, sign me up, I can't wait for this to, for my slides to be done. Something like that, okay? The other thing I want to see, I would like to see an example PowerPoint. Even if you make up a hypothetical client, speaker, and you give that person a name, and you make a slide deck for that speaker, pretending that speaker is a coach or a consultant or a service provider in a specific industry, I would like to see what you can actually do visually. And I think if you can do that and record a short video going through your slide deck and just explaining it, like a maximum, like 15, 20 slides, that's maximum 5 minutes. And you just say, look, here's an example of what is possible, what I can do for you. This is a hypothetical speaker, but this is what's possible. And then show them how you would animate it. So you're leading with an example. It's almost like having a testimonial or a case study of what your work can look like. And I know that's obviously highly personable depending on the person, on their brand colors, but that's something you can point out when you do your video, when you do your case study video with that slide deck. You can say, look, I've used a pretend thing, this is a brand new service, this is what I'm passionate about, and that's why I'm heavily reducing it, because I wanna be able to showcase to you how you can enhance your brand and enhance your message with a beautiful visual aid, such as the slide deck and the social media posts, etc., etc. So I hope this makes sense. Go and edit this, and then if you want, you run it past me again, but you're on the right track for sure. It just needs fleshing out. Okay, so great job, great first draft, but it needs a little bit of work.